Well, hello there, everybody. It says it's live. I happen to believe I am live, and so are you if you're hearing my voice. Although, technically speaking, I'm actually time traveling. Ain't that far out? I mean, come on, how cool is that? So, welcome everybody. Thank you for adding your energy to the recipe. It's let me get everything. YouTube has been a little slow today. I don't know why, but it is true. So I think I got everything where it needs to be so far out. Again, thank you for, like I said, adding to the energy. It's a lovely, lovely energy here. I appreciate it. So thank you. A big hug and high five. And thank you for making this a fun place to be in. And we're all human. But what I love about this group of humans is that there's a positive in us. Call it love, call it friendship, call it extraordinary, extraordinary. It's wonderful. So thank all of you moderators. Much love to you. You're here faithfully all the time. And so many others. I haven't made anyone moderators lately, but there'll come a time when we'll just do some of that. But all the rest, you're moderators as well. You add to the sweetness and to the kindness that's here. And I love the fact that there are deep thinkers here. You can see it in the comments, and that's attractive. And there's other people that are attracted to here. I don't go out and really pursue subscribers. I kind of figure it's like this. If it's meant to be, then we shall indeed cross paths. And if not, it's cool too, Yeah. So what's up? Hey, David Barry. How are you, brother? Much love to you. Robert V is in the house. How are you, Robert? Getting a little bit moderating up there in your part of the woods? Off-grid prosperity. What's up, Morgan? Hello. Good to see you, Lori. John, Mr. C. Inlow. What's up? Joyce, go. Good to see you as well. Yeah, Susie Q, all the way over on the other side of the pond. And Elderberry, who's just right up the road from where I am. DC, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Cole, Robert says, well, they say another 6 weeks, right? Well, of course there's another 6 weeks. That's what the calendar is. But hold on, it'll get better. Hopefully, who knows? Saturnalia Sun, how are you? Why don't people just call it the unseen? I don't know what unseen we're talking about, but the unseen is real. You know how I know that? My consciousness is unseen. Yeah. I have this avatar. Love it. Speak on it, lay hands on it every day. But yeah, my consciousness. And when I'm communing with the spirits, yeah, that's the unseen. So I agree with you, my friend. James, what's up? Big fan. Well, thank you. Honored, my friend. Very much. Bernadette, how are you, darling? Good to see you. Mary Wins, how you, darling? Good to see you. Robin, hello, lost in space. So Gaza, how are you? All right, so I have a serious question for the group. So entertain me. Are you entertained? When was the last time you made a real, authentic wish? Now, I know there's a delay from what I'm seeing myself. Hi, Self, how you doing? Doing pretty good. To when you start hearing that, Nyota, good to see you. Lori. So seriously, how many of you have actually made an actual wish? And let's not be flippant about it. I'm a serious question. Have you made a wish? When was the last time you made a wish? And then here's the second part to the question. If you haven't, why not? But if you have, then you got the next section. Go. Did your wish come true? Yes or no? Inlo says, I don't ask or wish for personal gain. I ask for truth and understanding within the will of the all. Well, but no doubt, but I have a sense, Inlo, that the all would say, well, you got to eat too, but that's just my perspective. Chloe, how are you doing? Last night. Interesting, Chloe. That is fantastic. Jargo, how are you doing? Raven, and we're going to get you on. I know subconscious as well. Just got to get the time. Mary, good to see you. Thank you. I wished another well, haven't wished much for myself. So can I give you, because we're just hanging out here, but so I've seen it in a couple of responses. So that tells me that, there's a vein here. So is it, how shall I say this? Is it allowed to wish for personal gain? I mean, that's my question. I mean, do you think that that this is somehow evil or sinful or selfish, or are you of the camp that says, well, when I used to teach corporate sales, I often used the expression that I used to use when I preached, was that there are many different ways to get to Chicago. The question really determines where you are at personally. You can walk, that's one way, wherever you are at, assuming that you're not in the general locale. I guess you could ride a bike. I guess you could buy a bus ticket. You could have a car. Now, what kind of car? It's determined by, wealth. You can fly a plane, meaning fly in a plane. And then if you fly in a plane, I used to fly a lot. And it only takes you a couple of times sitting in economy coach. And every time I walked by first class, I said, no, that's where I'm going to be. Well, sure enough, I did. That's, but that's the point is, all of those things I just said will get you to the destination. We'll all reach it there. Again, it just determines on your style, baby. Yeah, we got style. Hey, Paula, what's up? Good to see you, darling. I just love dropping in the comments. Well, it's something that, it's interesting. When I was in my religion, and this is true, the Jesus story. All right, so you kind of think about this. So this was a dude that they said was about 29, 30 years old, that didn't work. Just didn't work. Now, people can say, well, yeah, but he was, out saving the world. Hey, listen, totally get it. But the fact is that his club, his posse, boy, you start getting above one, and well, hey, let's just face it. Now you got a food situation, you got a housing situation, you got all these new logistics. Well, no matter what era you lived in, that shit costs money. Someone had to foot the bill. Now, you got to think about it. Now, there's another story to that story. You can read it in The Search, book by Dr. Charles. Great book. It's a long read. I'll just tell you right now, it's not one you're going to sit down and just read in one sitting, unless you're a Evelyn Wood power reader. But there's a different side of the story that they never told us. You see, if the dude lived, and I'm opening it up to every aspect, but let's just say for this discussion, the dude lived, right? Now, this is occultism. What we're discussing here is occultism because it is not going with the approved narrative. So therefore, it makes it outside. It's heresy, hair you see, but yet it's knowledge, hidden knowledge. But anyway, to my point, Mary, Jesus's mother, who had the alien encounter and gave birth to a hybrid, you see, her family was really, really, really rich. Her uncle, and this is historic, her uncle was Joseph of Armenia. Rich dude. He was Jewish. He oversaw all of the Roman mining interest in the Roman Empire. That's a rich dude, man. I don't think there's anyone that rich even today. And the story was that Joseph, the supposed perennial father, not biological, was a stonemason anyway. Apparently was crushed in an accident on a job site. And that's when Joseph of Armenia took Mary in, along with her son and his siblings. And off the story goes. The offside story is that Mary traveled with her uncle to Alexandria, Egypt, Rome, Spain. Young Jesus was anything but poor. He was very rich, and subsequently went to some of the what we would call mystery schools. But only the very wealthy could afford to send their child or children there. So, boy, I don't know how in the hell we got down on that road, but anyway, it was a very pretty scenery. Hope you took some pictures, and as we continue this, but yeah, that's the other side of the story. Paul Harvey always said, like, geez, why didn't they tell us that to begin with? I mean, wouldn't that have been just, much easier? No, because it turns it all back. So it gets back to this wealth thing. But hey, that's just my opinion. But that is the book. You can go to find verification of that record, which does exist. Well, There is the story that he never did die, but that becomes real. People get all freaked out. What do you mean? All right, all right. So he had a stand-in, right? I mean, it's like what is it? What is it? The 21st book of Acts, or is it the 25th book of Acts? It's one of the ones that it did not make it in the King James review, but was in the Latin Vulgate. And so the unpublished last chapter of the book of Acts, get this, Paul never was martyred. Paul went to live a long life in what we would call today southern Germany. The story goes that because he was a Roman citizen, and he was wealthy as well, very wealthy. His family, they sold all the tents to the Roman legions, the Roman army. I mean, they were rich folks. We're talking, they would be considered today probably, billionaire status at the very minimum. So anyway, Paul, as he was leaving, apparently had this thing in for Pontius Pilate. And he caught up with Pontius Pilate on a cliff, and by Paul's own words, basically ramming through with a sword. And threw his ass off the side of the cliff. So that chapter, book of Acts reads. And then he went on up into Germania at that time. So there we go. I don't know how the hell we got off on this, but yeah. You see, there's always this other side of the story, No one ever said that the Bible was historically accurate. In fact, I don't know any holy book that actually says it is historically accurate. Oh, crap. So getting back that, so do you don't make wishes? I guess that's the question I'll ask the audience. If I had the opportunity, I'd pass the mic around and say, all right, come on. What say you? Do you make wishes? Do you think it's foolish for people who make wishes? Do you think that that's only for children? I mean, when did you stop believing in making wishes? I guess more the question would be, when did you stop believing in the magic of wishes? Witches, there we go. Got a response back from Orly. I'm going to get with her this afternoon, and we're going to get her back on. I'm looking forward to that. Gilbert's right. History versus religion. That's and boy, isn't that a spell? Oh yeah. Well, of course, Bonnie, he was a gang. I mean, that was his posse. Man, here's the thing. Here's another side of the story. This gang that this dude, Jesus, Yeshua, however you want to say, they were some bad mofos, man. You didn't jack with them. This Peter dude, I have no doubt at all that Peter has cut the head and off of many of offenders. Why? Well, they carried, it would be the equivalent today that they were packing, let's say, a Glock 10. Maybe, a 45. They were carrying, if they were in what would be today's Israel, they probably carried Uzis, the latest version. Because that's what a sword was equal to. I mean, so why did his gang have swords? Thought this was a message of peace. The story goes Peter did. Remember what happened in the garden? Sliced that Roman soldier's ear right off. Several interesting things about that. If you take it and really peel it apart, if his sword did that, that was a sharp son of a bitch, man. I mean, many of you, how many of you ever watched Forge and Fire? You know, they actually made what was that sword that apparently Peter and the gang carried. And it would do some damage. But nope, don't want to be talking about that now, do we? Let's just go right on along. Because you see, that's occultism. It brings out the narrative that has been forced out, hidden, suppressed. Because it, kind of makes you think, well, just what the hell was going on here? I mean, we're talking Tombstone, baby. Probably more accurate, we would be talking Germany occupying France. You had the Eastern Legion right there in Jerusalem, that area. And then, I don't know, let's just go ahead and finish this out. We're going to get on with the other lesson. So the real character in all of this was Vespasian. He's the real story. I mean, do you think that the highest ranking general would allow a disruptive element to fester amongst the people in an occupied city? Hell no. Just not going to do it. And, the Romans weren't, well, they weren't exactly warmly received. I'll put it that way. Slavery was a real thing back then. We still got it today. We're just more sophisticated about it. But yeah. Hey, Purgatory Traveler, how you doing, my friend? But anyway, I digress. Well, make a wish, but believe in the wish. And if you go with it with an attitude of gratitude, it's kind of like you sitting in the middle of everything you could ever imagine. I read one story. There was a woman who, I think her book is that I Was in Heaven. And it's an interesting that she died. I think she died of, I think it was a cardiac event. Anyway, she wrote a book about it. I actually went and saw her speak. And she said that there is a literal gate. And she was allowed through. And she said that there was an assigned angel. We could say a spirit guide. And she said as she was going to her destination, they were traveling across and she could see different villages. And these villages were vast. And she asked the angel, she says, well, what? Because she could see different time periods. And that's what it was. Each of us, apparently, when we pass over, I mean, if you got the ticket or not, I think we all do. But according to her, that you will be, in her version, in your reality is going to be based upon the reality that you had here in this time period. She also said that there was this huge warehouse that her and the angel stopped at. And she said, well, what's that? And he said, that's yours. She said, what do you mean it's mine? And he led her inside this huge warehouse, she said, and he said, this is your wealth. This is your inheritance. This is what you had when you were on earth, but you never made use of it. So, but hey, what do I know? I don't know anything, man. I know nothing. I'm telling you, I don't know nothing. I wasn't there. I didn't see it, but yeah. Saw another guy, Dr. Epi. I still remember this guy. He came in and he was a doctor and he had fallen off a ladder. And as he hit the concrete, shattered his skull. His brain was outside the cranial. Excuse me. Pepper. Boy, it gets down there sometime. Anyway, now his experience was far different. If you've got the ticket, according to him, there are, what he saw, different levels. And much like we read in the Children of Fire, you know, you have this basic entry level, but many people ain't going to be getting the penthouse. You know, you maybe get up here on the 3rd story. Some do get the penthouse. So what a strange system that is. Okay, so we're going to move right on. I got it. Hey, Mr. C, I'm right there with you. Yeah, I got that. You know, I've got the ticket to ride. All right, so I promised to continue on with this occult lesson. So let's get through it. And actually, it's good information. It's good info. So callus, the first principle, we talked about there's 3. The first of the 3 principle is called callus, pronounced kalas, and it is the principle of substance. In the writings of the alchemist, it is called salt. Though this term should be taken symbolically rather than literally. It isn't the same kind of salt you sprinkle on your food. In the teachings of the Hindu sages, it is called tamas. And among the Taoists in China, it is the dye, the principle of earth. It is the expression of the one life that makes things solid and resistant. It is the source of matter. It can be imagined as earth with plants growing in it. The color is green, and its symbol is the square. Okay? Are you following along, class? Gura, the second principle, the second of the 3 principles is called Gura. It is the principle of transformation. In the writings of the alchemist, it is called sulfur. In the teachings of the Hindu sages, it is called rajas. And among the Taoists of China, it is Ren, the principle of humanity. It is the expression of the one life that makes things flow, change, come into being, and pass away again. It is the source of life in the usual sense of that word, the kind of life we experience in ourselves and other living things. It can be imagined as flowing water. Its color is blue, and its symbol is the triangle. The third principle, pronounced, I believe that is no ifru, and it is the principle of consciousness. In the writings of the alchemist, it is called mercury. In the teachings of the Hindu sages, it is called sattva. And doesn't it almost look like sativa? I'm getting off track here, but I'm looking at that and going, yeah, I think I can identify with that. Excuse me. I know we're supposed to be serious here. And among the Taoists in China, it is called Tian, the principle of heaven. It is the expression of the one life that brings about perception, intelligence, wisdom, and enlightenment. And it is the source of mind. It can be imagined as clear air full of light. Its color is gold, and its symbol is the circle. The three principles, as important as they are very abstract in general. For practical purposes, it is often more useful to work with a large number of more specific symbols. One of the most common set of symbols in occult practice is made up of 7 gates, rays, realms, or cantrips. This last is a Welsh word that means district or region, which are created by taking the 3 principles alone or in combination, as shown in the diagram in the table below. So I hope you can see that. We've all seen this. We've seen this, but it's interesting. Again, we take from what we have been taught, and then when you apply it to another aspect, I like it. So the tables and the elements, Kaslos produces earth, Gura produces water, Nefri produces air, you got Kalas and Guar produce fire, Kalas and Nufere produces spirit, etc. above. And then if you get the 3 principles, it produces spirit within. Spirit below, spirit above, spirit within. I love this stuff, man. I mean, it's just so freaking cool. I mean, is it possible, like, we really pass over and we're in this room and it's like we're seeing 1,000 different versions of ourselves? I don't know. Isn't that what Neo saw in one of the Matrix? Just asking for a friend. Each of the 7 gates has its own symbolism. Not all the symbols may make sense to you at first glance, and some may be completely unfamiliar. Don't worry about this. Their meaning will become clear to you as you proceed in the work of occult training. The first gate, Hour. This gate represents the principle of the Nefra by itself. It is symbolically placed in the eastern quarter of the world, the place where the sun rises. And this sense of light shines throughout the gate and its imagery. It is the gate of inspiration and illumination of mind and thought, morning, springtime, and every other image of newborn light in life correspond to this gate. And so does inspiration and illumination of every kind. Its symbol is a circle with a line extending up from its top. This represents light and air being born from the infinite potential of spirit. And its name is pronounced Ah-Ra. I think that's Ah-Ra. Ah-Ra. Okay. See the symbol. Be the symbol. All right. So among the elements is the air. Among the seasons, it is spring. Among times of day, morning. Among beasts, the hawk. among days, Sunday, among the planets, the sun, among directions, it's east, among the colors, yellow, among trees, the birch, among planes, the mental plane. This is some good stuff. The second gate, and I think that's Daiwar. This gate represents the principle of Gara by itself and is symbolically placed in the western quarter of the world. It is the gate of growth, learning, and enlargement, as well as that of emotions and of all things watery. Wisdom in the old Druid lore is symbolized by a salmon who dwells in a sacred pool by which the hazel branches hang. And through this symbol, water has close symbolic connections to trees and other growing things. Its symbol is the triangle pointing down, representing water's downward movement. Its name is pronounced Du-ar. And I want to point out, who was that? Colleen, was it you who wrote, which one who wrote me that said that concerning women, that we've got this notion that somehow the female, the woman, was kind of a Johnny-come-lately to the party. And she didn't get the same things as Adam. But here's something that even in their book, they have to explain. And she pointed it out beautifully. Now, if you read the book of Proverbs and you find out about wisdom, because wisdom is the chief principal thing. Your whole life, mine, is to acquire wisdom. Now, it's very interesting because wisdom is defined as female. In fact, the female says, I, wisdom, was his daily delight. Meaning, the big guy. The dude that extorts 10% from us just to get access. Not to him, but, inside. Yeah. But anyway, you get the idea. So that would nullify this whole thing about Eve, wouldn't it? I mean, it sounds a hell of a lot like Lilith, what she had to tell us in the Liber Lilith. But I digress. All right. So we got the triangle going down, representing water. So among the elements, it is water. Among the seasons, autumn. Among the times of day, evening. Among the beasts, it's salmon, and among the days, Wednesday. Among the planets, Mercury. The direction is west. The color is blue. The trees are hazel, and the plains, the etheric plane. Pretty cool. Third gate, Euphel. This gate represents the principles of Gyar and Kalas combined and is symbolically placed in the southern quarter of the world. It represents every force and factor that energizes and transforms, making the many into one. It teaches us that no barrier separates us from the creative energies that weave in the world into being, just as no barrier separates our energies from their border context in the universe around us. In the unawakened self, it is passion, it is the awakened self, it is intentionality. Its symbol is the triangle pointing up, representing the upward movement of flame. Its name is pronounced Havel. It is associated in the element of fire. Its season is summer. Its time of day is noon. Among the beasts is the stag. Among the days, Tuesday, the planet Mars. The direction is south. The color is red. Among the trees, the holly. And among the plains, the astral plane. The fourth gate, I think that's Dair. This gate represents the principle of Kalas by itself and is symbolically placed in the northern quarter of the world. It is the realm of manifestation, the firm material basis that allows the other elemental powers to take form in the universe of our experience. Our experience, baby. We're adding to the collective, and I always get this idea of the freaking Borg. I hope it's not that way. I tell you what, that would be a real bummer. Anyway, in the individual, it is the body in every form of embodiment and structured manifestation. In nature, it takes the shape of soil and the other materials of Earth's surface. The realm of Earth's far depths belong to the fifth gate instead. The symbol of this gate is the creative circle of spirit with a line descending downward into manifestation. Its name is pronounced Dair. This is really cool. I'll be making some of these symbols. There's a test. Among the elements is earth. Its season is winter. Among the days of the time of day is midnight. The beast, it's the bear. Among the days is Friday. The planets is Venus. The direction is north. The color is green. Among the trees, the apple. And among the plains, the material plane. The fifth gate, Mayan. This gate represents the principles of Nufair and Kalas in combination and is symbolically placed in the depths. It is the power of spirit below, and its closest representation in the world of ordinary human experience is the deep places of the earth. The world that human beings inhabit consists of 4 overlapping spheres, one each of fire, air, water, and earth. The upper atmosphere corresponding to fire, the lower atmosphere to air, the seas, rivers, lakes, and groundwater to water, and the solid crust of the planet to earth. Below that lies a realm as alien to human life as the furthest reaches of outer space, a realm of unimaginable heat, pressure, and energy that drives the continents across the face of the planet and sets the land trembling with earthquakes. The symbol of this gate is the circle of the spirit with the cross of balanced manifestation below it. Its name is pronounced mind. Wow. This is so cool. All right. So among the elements is spirit below. Among the seasons of the time past, the planet Saturn, the direction is below. The time of day is night. The beast, the white dragon. We know they exist. That's all I've got to say. I think of Kaz every time. Among the days, Saturday, the color is orange. Among the trees, the yew, and among the plains, the spiritual plane. The sixth gate, Neph. This gate represents the principalities of Nephre and Gyar in combination, and it is assigned to the heights. It is the power of spirit above, and its nearest representation in human terms is the universe beyond the limits of the earth. Just as the world we inhabit, with its 4 elemental spheres, stops a few miles below our feet where the earth's crust gives way to the mantle. It stops a few miles above our heads at the borders of space. Beyond these are the vast reaches where stars and planets circle through the void. The symbol of this gate is the circle of spirit with the cross of balance manifestation above it. The name is pronounced Nev. Among the elements is the spirit above, the seasons, time to come, among the times of day, day, among the beast, the red dragon, among the days, today, Thursday, the planets is Jupiter, the direction is above, the color is purple, far out, and the trees, the oak, and the plains, the causal plain. This is some cool stuff. The seventh gate, and I'm going to say why. The seventh and last gate represents the combination of all 3 of the principles, and it is assigned to the center, the point of balance in the middle of all 6 of the other gates. It symbolizes the presence of life and spirit within everything in the world, including you and me. Where some religions see human beings as something set apart from the rest of the world and equally far from the divine, the occult teachings recognize that human beings are part of one great reality, along with everything else there is. The symbol of the 7th gate is a circle of spirit with the cross of balance manifestation in its center. Its name is pronounced Biu. The spirit is, the element is the spirit within. The seasons is eternity. Among the times of day, this moment. Among the beast, the human being. Among the days, Monday. Among the planets, the moon. Among the directions, it is center. Its color is white. And the tree is the mistletoe. Among the plains, the divine plane. The 33 emblems. Think, oh, we have plenty of time. Alongside the one life, the 3 principles, and 7 gates, the work of the Golden Section Fellowship relies on another set of symbols, the 33 cards of sacred geometry oracle, which provide 33 emblems divided up into 3 circles of 11 emblems each. It may already have occurred to you that one life plus the 3 principles plus 7 gates equal 11. If you notice this, you've grasped one of the inner keys of the sacred geometry oracle. That key has to be used with knowledge. However, because each circle has a different arrangement of the symbols, in the first circle, the symbols are in the order of generation, showing how the one life unfolds its possibilities in making the world we experience. In the second circle, the symbols are jumbled together as we find them in the world around us. In the third circle, the symbols are in the order of regeneration, returning and arising from the world of experience to the one life. All 3 of these arrangements have lessons to teach, and you will explore them in meditation later on. The first principle, the unmarked card, potentiality, hiddenness, the one life. 2, the point, beginning and commitment. Nephar, the third principle. The line, extension, separation, is Gaiwar, the second principle. The circle, continuity, repetition, Kalas, the first principle. The eclipse, flow, adjustment, Iwar, the first gate. The viscous, piscus, union, encounter, Dayar, the second gate. The equilateral triangle, form, limitation, Euphel, the third gate. The hexagram represents balance and conflict, Dayar, the fourth gate. The cross, interaction, dissension, Mine, the fifth gate. The right triangle, proportion, restriction, is Neth, the sixth gate. And the quadrature of the circle, integration, isolation, is Bayar, the seventh gate. The second circle, the square, manifestation and inertia, is Mine, the fifth gate. The octagram, that is cooperation and compromise, is Nufair, the third principle. The dodecagram, completeness, complexity, is from Nath, the sixth gate. The heterohydron, the energy disruption, Euphel, the third gate. The octahedron, the meditation and dispersal, IR, the first gate. The isohydron, receptiveness, passivity, is Dayar, the second gate. The cube, stability, rigidity, the Dayar, the fourth gate. The square and diagonal, generation, consequence, the one life. The geometric expansion, excess, is Gaiar, the second principle. The spiral. By the way, did y'all see the spiral that was above Hawaii the other night? They're trying to say it was a missile. I ain't buying that at all. Anyway, spirals, the unfolding, diminishing, Bayar, the seventh gate, and alternation, approach, imperfection, Kalas. Are y'all getting all this? This is some heavy stuff. It really is. You have to go back and read it. I think actually drawing out the diagrams, putting them in like flashcards. Yeah, I'm just thought of something. The third circle, the double square, regeneration risk, is Iwar, the first gate. Progression of roots, evolution, unexpectedness, is Daiwar, the second gate. Discontinuous proportion, relation, dependence, Euphel, the third gate. Continuous proportion, correspondence, necessity, Dayar, the fourth gate. The golden proportion, harmony, justice, mind, the fifth gate. The pentagram, representing power, responsibility, is from Neth, the sixth gate. The dodecahedron, the transcendence and transmutation, by Bayar, the seventh gate. The unity of primary roots, reconciliation, paradox, is from Kalas, the first principle. The spear, representing infinity and unknowability, is from Gaiar, the second principle. Squaring the circle represents attainment and impossibility, from Nephar, the third principle. The human canon, unity, diversity, the one life. You don't have to memorize these symbol patterns now. Later on, you may choose to do so because they add another level of richness to the divination with the sacred geometry oracle. And they also help explain some of the details of the work ahead. Now, I think we're just about done with this. So, because I don't want to run over like this. And you can see we still got a long ways to go. But I may have to do this at another show. I know I will. All right. I am going to end this right here. I suggest you get this. I only have this on my Kindle. I'm going to buy the book now because I like what I'm seeing. Anyway, don't have me sitting here looking at all this. Anyway, holy cow, Batman. I am literally going to make cards with those symbols. I wonder if they could actually be bought somewhere. I couldn't be the first person saying, oh, that would be a great idea. What it reminds me and pulls me back to is all of our teaching and what we've read were sigils, symbols. They're everywhere, man, woman. They're everywhere. No end to the subject. Yes. Saturday sun. Yes. You be true. Pingreedy, you're welcome. I'm just catching on this. So here's how I look at this. This is all seriousness. Most people look to be entertained, and that's why there are channels that do that. Then you've got the other channels, and I'm just one of many others. But there is some really good stuff. And when you look at the foundation of how it centers into the occult, I mean, I can guarantee you that I wasn't exposed to any of this. Man, they'd had the Exorcist over. But yet, as I remember in my youth, which album was that with Led Zeppelin? Was it 4? If you really got into it, because Jimmy Page he's a wizard. Deep into the occult. Actually bought McAllister's house. Note to self. But anyway, I digress. But I think a lot of this was around in various shades and forms. We were kids. And what were we thinking? Hello, appreciate it. If there's any truth in the 144,000, the thing is, that's a pair. Yeah, here's my, since you mentioned that. I mean, that's a race card. Excuse me, you're going to have 12,000 of the 12 tribes. Yeah. Really? And if you read the story, they're going to be the judges. Here come the judgment. Nope, I ain't buying that. I'm not even sure how to properly process this incursion. We've endured so many of them. I think the first incursion, something interrupted our natural evolutionary road. Evolution is a reality. If it's not, then you have nothing but death. But getting back to us, we have something that apparently is not on other planets. It would appear that we have the female of our species, which apparently, I guess, is not replicated in any place in the universe. But then we endure these assaults. If you look at the story, we had an alien incursion that produced these monsters. Hey, listen, if you're 4,500 feet tall, that's big. And we know that the world back then, we read in yesterday's book that the earth was expanding. What if it's expanded before? I wonder if it would expand again. I don't know. But getting back to the point, that was an incursion. That was an army that were far better equipped than humans were. They had advanced technology. And again, someone wrote me and said, why do you ask these questions? Like what? Well, she said, why do you ask about questions? Is there sex in the afterlife? I said, because it's a primary motivation. Of course, she was taking the thing that apparently it's going to be all holy over there. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be holy at all. But I could be wrong. Define holy. I digress. And then we got these assholes who come down and this thing called the Tower of Babel. I think the Tower of Babel was actually a spaceport. I think our ancestors knew we had to get off the freaking planet. That this isn't a good place. Now, they said it was to reach the gods. Well, you know, if you're building a building that's some 10 miles high, be a great place to launch a vehicle from, wouldn't it? But anyway, I digress. And think what that they did to us. They wiped us. It shows that it can be done. And apparently in a very large scale. Because if you think about the story metaphorically, if you want to take it literally, think about this, that they don't say how many different tongues that humans suddenly, you were walking around going, hey man, do you speak English? The spickety dush, you know. Hey, I speak that language, you know. Hey, buddy, how you doing? You know, but that was a rape. It was a rape of our species. Who the hell did they think they are? I want to kick some ass. I mean, I'm all for enlightenment, baby. I'm all for peace. But hey, it's like they seem to do this regularly. Oh, you're going to get in trouble. Well, here's one. So is there sin in the ethereal realm, the spirit realm? Can a spirit commit sin out of the material plane into the etheric plane? Can you break the law over there? Is there punishment over there? See, I don't think people think this thing through because they don't want to. I love this. And you see, I can see in the response, and I go back and get to read the comments on this. But yeah. Inlo says, I think the tower moment was when we lost our ability to communicate with telepathy. I think there's good evidence for that. I think there's excellent evidence of that. And you think about this. This was worldwide. I mean, I'm feeling like we're watching the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still. You know, the one that came out in 1956, 57, whenever that was. Katu. You know, they got ships that it's like 5G, 6G. Maybe if we have like 100G, boom, baby, we're wiped. We're going around, you know, oh, no. Yeah, I mean, you know, what do you do? All right, man, I've really gone over. So, all right, apologize on that. Got carried down that road, but you know what? You know, we're better than what's happening in the world, folks. We are better than this. And I just trust that humanity will wake up before what they're planning, because it's nasty. It's nasty, folks. We don't want that. Nobody wants that. No human could want that. That's not a solution. It's not an answer. The answer lies in the occult. We can take from religion because religion took from us. And if there's going to be a move on a massive planetary level, it's going to have to be done in the etheric realm. It's going to have to take it where people who understand these elements that can't be seen, but yet can be worked with. Dave, have a great day to you as well, my friend. And I look forward to it as well. All right, we'll pick up here on tomorrow's rant. All right, folks.